How does 70 times 7 work? In this week's newsletter with that title, I share the tragic story of a man whose wife is texting, takes her eyes off the road, she's going to pick up her daughters, and accidentally runs over them and killed both of them. And the newsletter is actually about the lessons learned in that process of forgiveness. How do you let go of something like that? How do you forgive? But his lesson was simply that it's not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. And one of my favorite definitions of forgiveness is simply that forgiveness is agreeing to live with the consequences of another person's sin. It's how do you let go of the ongoing stuff that's happening. It is a process. It's not a one-time event. Now, just to begin, I'm afraid some of you might automatically think, listening to this, and that's a really bad example because that was an accident. There was certainly no intention, but in my particular instance, my mate made a choice. It's not that it was just an accident. They did it. But I believe the process is the same whether or not the person made the terrible choices that they made or someone actually happened or something happened as a result of an accident. And in my thoughts, you have to forgive, or I hope you choose to forgive, or you'll forever remain a victim. See, when a tragedy such as infidelity strikes, it doesn't just rupture the relationship, but the costs go on and on. In fact, at times those costs may seem absolutely infinite. You might discover that the infidelity not only has destroyed your dreams of the person you thought you were married to and the life the two of you had built, but it's also cost you the ability just to go to a wedding, because watching two people going through their vows remind you, and it's a trigger, and you flood emotionally. Or maybe it's cost you sleep because your mind can't shut off and you get intrusive thoughts in the middle of the night. Maybe it's cost you the ability to tell your friends, we've had a great marriage and a great life, and it's completely ruined that. I mean, those costs go on and on and on. And the challenge of forgiveness when it comes to infidelity is just how every time do I let go when those consequences come. I used to think it was a one-time event. In fact, in the Q&As just this morning, I had somebody that said, 2 weeks ago I discovered that my mate had betrayed me and I forgave her. And perhaps the person really did. But what I also know is that 70 times 7 is really something that's relevant when it comes to this sort of instance. It's like if you take a rock and throw it into a pond, there are these ripples that keep rolling off of the crazy water. It's like on and on and on. And that's exactly what it is for those consequences. And each time you have another realization, or it feels like you're shunned, or somebody cuts you off, or there's financial decisions, or your mate doesn't respond the right way, or you get intrusive thoughts and you get triggered. Each time that happens, you're either going to say, it's not fair, I didn't deserve this, and you can get mad, and you can continue to tell a grievance story about all the things that were done to you, or you can go, there it is. It's just another consequence. And I can either rail against it, fight against it, or I can, as one saying goes, cry a river and build a bridge to get over it. And I hope you choose to continue every time those ripples come to cry that river and just get over it. Because I promise you, even like when you throw that rock into the pond, those ripples don't go on forever. They do tend to happen for an extended period of time, but it's not forever. So please choose to forgive 70 times 7. That's going to be your best path to become a hero, to get your life back, to be able to feel good about who you are. to healing.